How everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Um, I try to bring up things that try to be relatable. I try to, because I can be all over the place. Relatable to something that I'm thinking about or came across my mind, or came across something that I was viewing or looking at. Um, I don't know that if I've said this before, but me and my family, my brother, my sister, and me, and my mother, we came up. It was hard. I wasn't born with no silver spoon in my mouth. We went through a lot of stuff. We had a lot of situations with my family, whereas I felt like they treated my mother different, and we were almost like black sheep of the family. If we're not, if we weren't, if that might be the right phrase or coin, and it just we all didn't work together as a family, and it seemed like they always were pointing out things about my mother, but you know, ignoring things about themselves and trying to act as if they never made mistakes, trying to act as if, oh, what, we did better than she did, and it's always just was negative, and it still is, and it's sometimes they even still I feel ill speak of my mother, even though she's gone. She's been gone now for years. So we went through our thing. So my mother, and I can't deny sometimes she did some things just like them, just like they made mistakes too. But I remember a lot of stuff that we went through as kids, and we were trying to figure out what she was doing. We were trying to help her out, but when you're a kid, sometimes you just dismissed as being a kid. We're supposed to be seen, sometimes not heard. Or at least that's what people have said in the past. With gotten us a lot of mental issues, uh, going forward. So I was just telling my wife about this recently. We were young kids, and I remember we were in a certain part of town, and this guy came up, and he told my mother that he wanted to show her something, and I don't know if it was a trick or some kind of, I think it was a trick, some weird thing, and I didn't know why we were even falling for this, and I was young at that time, the oldest of three, but young, and maybe like, shoot, I don't know, maybe like 14. And I just didn't understand why my mother even played into this. But her thing was, you know, she was listening to this guy. He started talking to her, and basically, to run it as fast as I can, or say what I'm saying as fast as I can, and get it out the way. We got scammed. It was crazy, because he asked her for some money or something like that, or either he said, "I'm gonna give you some money." So the plot was to give her money to make her think that he was real. Once he gave her the money and posed to ran this trick or whatever he was doing, he turned around and gave her back her money, and supposedly I think a little bit more money. So she's sitting there listening to him, and we as kids had enough understanding, and my mother we didn't get no whole lot of money, and the money that she had, we were like, "Mom, what you doing? What you?" And she was, of course, not listening to us, listening to this guy. And basically, the trick or the scam or whatever was eventually to get her to give him her money. And she had just cashed her check, and going out here, and now she's going to give this man her money. And I remember we as kids were like, "Mom, what are you doing? You can't do this. This doesn't make sense." And my mother didn't listen, and she thought this man was on the up and up. And then, lo and behold, I don't know what happened. I think he was talking to us. He slipped away, and the money was gone. And so I never forget, my mother was upset. She's running around, and then we were like, of course, I'm sitting there in my head, and I'm like, "But we told you don't do it. We told you not to make that. Don't do it." And how many times if your kids are telling you not to do it, but my mother had her own mind. She was going to do what she wanted to. Now again, she didn't do everything like this, but sometimes she just that's the way it ran with her. She was going to do what she had to do, or what she felt she needed to do, regardless, because we were kids, and how many, you don't usually, some people don't usually listen to kids. They don't care. Um, Especially when, again, she didn't make the greatest decisions all the time. So I mentioned that to say none of us do at times. All of us have made mistakes. I just recently was I got into something with my uncle. I really didn't get into it with him. I think he got more upset with me. It wasn't a big thing, not to me. But but the thing was, I felt like I was spending too much time with him later on. Now that I'm doing now, I still want to spend time with him because I love him, but I want to give him his space. And maybe I was just taking too much time over because he's not my father. And I've always, in my mental state and the way that I am, I really wanted a father, and he knows that, and you know, uh, but I understand he has a family, and he never told me this. He never said that you can't do this, you can't call me. This is just on me. I just felt like, wow, you need to get this man some time. You don't need to bombard him and be calling him every single day. He's not your father, um, and you don't want to hope mess that relationship up, because he got a lot of stuff going on in his life. To be fair, he has a lot of stuff going on in his life health wise, just like me. And it's no point for me to sit around and just take all of his time up or whatever. That's the way I feel about it now. And I just, so that's what I'm just saying. All of us make mistakes. All of us do things that are wrong sometimes. But we all can get scammed. We all can get, caught up in our own thing so much that we don't pay attention to what's going on around us. So I was looking at this guy. I don't know if you guys know. You guys probably know of him. Some dude from this company that he made called WeWorks. There's a documentary on it, or a docu-series on it, on Hulu, and I think it's this guy named Newman, I think is his name, but he's going to be played by, I think, like John Leto. I think it's John or Jay Little, or can't remember what that guy's name is, but I think he played the Joker and did some other stuff, and then Anne Hathaway is his girlfriend in this whole thing. But it was two people that came up with this thing to do this thing called WeWorks. But anyway, the WeWorks thing was to, I guess it was like supposed to be it had something to do with them renting out offices and then actually coming up with this false sense of like whoever worked with them as this, I guess, like a community of people that worked together and supposed to made all this money. His company was valued, I think, at like, I don't know if it was 4 point something billion or something. He put it like this: he just had a lot of money from that business, but it was all a scam. He was again, like I say, I can't explain it to you totally, but he came up with some type of way to sell this idea, I guess, of a business where everybody's stuck together and so on and so on and so on. And it goes deeper than that. But bottom line was, people were scammed. It was he got in, and now he's trying to make another company up. And the thing that trips me out is the way that these grifters get on, do what they want to, and now they keep on coming back if you let them. And it seems like the world just keeps on letting them come back. It seems like we just don't, like, I know some of what it is, or what I feel it is. It's, I don't know if I can totally make the comparison to it, because it's not totally the same thing, but it kind of it's weird the way that I'm looking at this, the way this works, the way everything, and it's it's just weird. Like you have Trump. Now Trump he's been grifting for a while now. This is a man that has money. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he knows the wrong that he does, but he doesn't care. And a lot of people, they don't. It's about money today. Everybody's trying to make a dollar, and they'll make it whatever way they want to, or whatever way they can. And when you have somebody like him that he does know about money. I'm not going to say he's an expert or a person in how to use the money, but he definitely has been in that arena where he's been around a lot of money because of what his father gave to him and basically set him up, which is bad, I think, for some people to be giving their kids a whole bunch of money. You don't know who the kid is, you know what I'm saying? But you think you know the kid, but anyway. He's been running a lot of grifting things. I was amazed at how Trump just, he did this NFT thing, which is I don't even know the definition. The definition of NFT, but I know that it's supposed to be. He had these pictures that he supposed to set himself up and where he's an astronaut. I think at one point he's a cowboy and all this bull shucks and it was like if you buy it, you're supposed to be able to if you purchase it, you're supposed to be purchasing like I think it's like it's just like a picture a digital picture of him, and it's supposed to be people saying, I guess if you get these things now, they're supposed to be worth something later on or whatever. But anyway, people bought into it. Now, we already knew the fame he had because you got a lot of these mega people that are totally nuts, and they act as if he's some type of Jesus Christ to them, and that he's going to it's crazy. I've been around some of the people. I've seen them. I don't like being. I wouldn't want to be around them because they, most of them are racist. But the whole thing is they'll do anything for this dude, and he's got enough popularity with his own little base, and even in the world, and so he can sell these things. He can keep on grifting. He can do it. I think it was sold out. I can't remember how quick it had been done, but he sold out real quick, and I just can't believe the amount of money that people would put into such an idiot. Like, I mean, like, I just don't get it. But I guess, with everything, there are people out here that will support somebody like him. They voted him in as president, so why not, right? But I see this all the time. It's another lady. Well, another lady I don't want to talk about. Well, it's a lady. I think she grifted her way into a college situation where she supposedly, was I can't remember if she was from the college herself, but I know some way she got into this college, and somehow she got her way in, and she started telling them about some type of thing she wanted to do that had to do with healthcare. And what she eventually did, from what I understand, was to get enough people behind her. I guess like to get money up to actually start this kind of like, I don't know if it was an app or if it was I think it was a program or something, but it had something to do with an app where she was supposed to be trying to set it up to whereas, excuse me, she could, she wanted to set it up to where she had an app that could tell whether somebody had, whether there was some type of access to a health problem or whatever that needed to be looked into again, because I guess like certain things came up in the app that kind of show. I don't know if it was again, like I said, I don't think it was an app. I think it was a program that was with the health system, to whereas they supposed to be able to find whether you had a reoccurrence of cancer or a reoccurrence of or an occurrence of something that need to be looked into health wise or something like that. And actually, the program didn't work for the healthcare system, but she had already had people in line that believed it worked, or rather, she made people believe it worked. And this was important because again, it was software or on a program or something that where you took a test, and once they got the test back, I guess the program was supposed to be able to tell you whether you had a resurgence of cancer if you had before, or other healthcare issues. And she lied. It never worked. And the thing that trips me out, she could throw this out there, and she had all these different places using the program, and it never worked. And for a while, they thought it worked, and then they had people going in to get, checked again, thinking that this program had made them, had shown that they were having a resurgence of, the resurgence of whatever healthcare problem that they had before, and they didn't. And she made a lot of money off of it. She tried to, and the thing was so funny. To me, it was funny because she changed her voice. She wanted to try to act as if she was almost like a Steve Jobs or, I can't remember the other guy's name, but she came off as this person that she supposed to be, she was trying to image herself as this type of person, wearing a certain type of gear, looking a certain way. And she was just happened to be this white lady that I think she had blonde hair. I don't know if she wore glasses all the time. I can't remember the lady who played her because she had a docuseries too. And the amazing thing to me about all three of those people, the Newman guy, I cannot remember this lady's name, the lady that scammed the healthcare system, and then this Trump dude, which everybody knows him. But anyway, sometimes I'm amazed because through this life that I've lived, the time that I've been here, I've tried to, in the work system and around people, I know you have to carry yourself in a certain way. And I especially knew I had to carry myself in a certain way, being as I am African American. And I know some people are going to say, "Oh, you didn't have to go," okay, whatever. But this is from my time of what I knew I had to be a certain way around people. I could not, it's certain things that we look out, when we're of a minority status, because people can take things a certain way. They take the way you dress, the way you look, the way you sound, things you say, on whether you're going to be, um, accepted in the arena and circles that you go into. And I know in some situations I would not be accepted. I know in some situations I wasn't. Sometimes I made off okay. I mean, I've always been a person that I could blend and talk with people or whatever. And it didn't make a difference who you were. Matter of fact, I was so cool with certain people that if they were racist or if they were negative towards black people or whatever, it came out. Because sometimes I was so cool with them that they might say something that was wrong, and then it would be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, I tried to stay out of it. I tried not to get into it, and I didn't know that just being around people and being cool with them, that some people would drop their guard so much that they might let something crazy slip out that's politically incorrect, or to me, the person, not necessarily out to the world, but you're going to be kind of like negative to me. I've just seen some stuff. I'm not going to go all into it today, but I'm just saying I've had to live a different way than I think some people have to live. And it's funny because as I watch these people like this Newman guy for WeWork, he's coming back in now and he's got another scheme, another plan to go out here and do it again. And somebody's giving him more money to actually complete another scheme. This is the thing that worries me. This is the thing that's crazy. It's not worrying me. It's stupid because we've had a president like Trump. He was bad. I don't care what nobody say. And I know if one thing he was bad towards me, it's funny. It's funny how somebody like that, when every time I hear somebody talk about him, at least from majority side on that happens to be people that are white, when they speak about him, they speak as if he was doing something great. You're doing what great? You're putting down people. You're putting down women. Number one, I don't understand why that these same women. Well, I do in some senses understand why some of them still support him, but it's crazy. He's talking about women. He's talking about you. He's doing all these crazy things, and these people you had Christian people. And that was always amazing to me. And that should be amazing to me because everybody around here, a lot of people around here are devils that play like there's some type of God. But they sit around and they act as if like, oh, he's doing something great for us, and this is going to set the world straight. And he goes on and does and said. And the amazing thing to me was when I would speak to some of my people that I knew that were that happened to be white, not all, but some, and most on the most side, they were like, oh well, don't pay any attention to that. He doesn't mean. I don't understand how somebody can say negative and nasty things about you, and then people will say, don't pay any attention to that because that's not really who he is. No, what you say you are. I heard somebody tell me, don't be a fool, don't be an idiot to think that. Don't give somebody a lot more credit than what they deserve. If a person says, I'm a person that don't like you, don't try to read nothing else into it. If he say or she say that they don't like you, believe what they say. Don't try to put them up on a pedestal or give them something more than. If you calling me a name, if you calling my people crazy, if you talking about something in my life that's going to be negative towards my people or negative towards me, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to still sit there and act like everything is cool. But those people that it doesn't affect, that's what I'm saying. The people that I spoke to happen to be white. It didn't affect them. It didn't bother them because they always come and they say, well, Eric, he's he don't have the greatest words, but you got to ignore that. It doesn't bother me. See, if it don't bother you, then now of course it shouldn't bother me. No, it bothers me if you call the places where people that look like me shithole countries, and you know minorities, and anytime you say something to woman, that's negative. You still saying nasty things to people because you feel like you're better than them. You put yourself on the pedestal most, and you're not. You're not nothing because you. Anyway, these people, I can't believe that these people are giving Trump a chance to come back, and it seems like they want to give him a chance to come back and be president. Why? And the same way goes with this WeWork person. Now he's doing something else, but he's doing what I guess like apartment homes, and the crazy schemes that they're coming up with. Like the lady that made the thing for healthcare, trying to make it that her program had this ingenious way of being able to find out whether somebody had the symptoms coming back with their health, or it's ridiculous. You have people making up shit consistently, and this is the point I want to make. It's and some people might look at it a different way. See, I don't have good examples right now what I'm going to use, so I don't think that I don't know that I want to use it like this, but I will say, I don't know that there happen to be any African American or Hispanic. There probably is people out there that they come up with their own schemes and they got their own Ponzi things going on, whatever it is. They got their own thing going on. I've been around and I've seen people be successful in scamming people and lie and do whatever. Not on a personal side, as far as like knowing them and hanging with the people that are doing it, but just been around people that have got scammed, been around people that thought something was what it was, but it wasn't. So, I find it crazy that when it seems like it's from a black person, we don't have the ability or the connections majority of the time really to get us in the place that we would want to be able to even suggest some of these things. I remember a man that they were talking about that went into an investment firm, not an investment firm. He went into maybe it was, I'm not really sure. He went into a place where he was trying to be a stock market person, and he didn't have any education. He didn't have any knowledge of it. I mean, well, he had knowledge of it. That's a lie. He had knowledge of what he thought he needed to do or what he needed to say, but he never had the experience. And he came in as if he was a teacher in the profession, and that he could teach people about investing and blah, blah, blah. He was a liar. He lied from the get-go. But lo and behold, somebody gave him a chance and said, oh, you know what? We're going to give you this and give you that. And then basically he was working at the place that, because somebody let him in. And he did good. He did whatever he needed to do. But the thing was, he didn't have an education in it. He lied about he lied about everything. And I think that the guy that let him in said that he kind of regretted letting him in because he eventually became some type of crook. But in the interest of what I'm saying, I'm just saying these crooks, these people that are liars, these grifters, Trump, Newman, and some other people, they get in. This guy named Newman, which was with WeWork, just got one of the biggest checks from this guy that's fronting for this guy and giving him money, has even written in his whole business situation. He's giving him millions, billions, whatever it is. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a trip to me how these people can say dumb stuff, people buy into it and give them all their money, and they're being scammed. The whole thing with it was a bunch of falsehoods and things going on with the Trump thing, with all these identities that they have him, that for some strange reasons, I don't know what y'all want, what y'all getting out of this, but anyway, it's crazy. They make all this money, but what I watch from what my standpoint is, when I watch, I've never seen too many black people who can do something like that, where they can ascertain this type of money and go out here and do the things that these people do and be as successful, not because they're stupid. But they're probably like some good examples of people going out and doing stuff that happen to look like us. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like it gets the same response that these people get. These people go out here and scam people, take their money, do whatever they want to do, and then like society lets them back in to do it again. You've had a president turn the country upside down, be so negative, definitely racist, definitely prejudiced, definitely not a lover of anybody else. Always try to turn around and make it look like somebody's doing something to him, and y'all want some guy like this to lead you. So it doesn't matter what they do. It seems like they can come in, but again, what's to me the connection is they won't. And I feel like with somebody like Trump, they won't disavow him. It seems like it's the same with the Republican Party. Like y'all, like to me, as I watch this, as I pay attention to it through the years from 2016 all the way up, more even a little bit past that, y'all been letting racist people into y'all community, into y'all little spot. Well, let me say it a little bit different because that's not totally true. I guess from my understanding, from what I'm seeing, y'all been had racist people there, Ronald Reagan, but that didn't, they did racist things and wrong things to people of color in the community, to people of color in the world. But at the same time, it was more nuanced. They didn't come straight out and say that they didn't like us. You know what I'm saying? And so, even though there might have been prejudiced people in your party, they weren't quite as up and out to say it. But over the years, and I've noticed this, even since the internet has come around, you have more and more of these people trying to get into our life. Not that they weren't already in our life as far as like the world, Ku Klux Klan and people, but they had people that want so bad to find their way into the system so that they can corrupt it more and make it more be about us, make it more be about their hatred for us. And so now you have a lot of people now coming into political. It seems like all they got to do is put on a suit, smile, Santos, come in and do what they want to do. And now people all of a sudden, oh, great. Oh, they're great. These people are great. They're so smart. Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they're really not. They're really people that just come into the system and they're trying to get their own name. They're trying to get their own thing going that sometimes is embedded with racist, with racist type things going on. And then you turn around and now you have these people in office, because they move their way up, they're coming into the system, they're coming into their own way, they're coming into a popularity of saying and doing things that are so negative, and people just let it go now. People don't even say it, they act like it's all good, and it's not. And these people come in, they do their grifting, they make their money. It's so obvious to me what they're doing, but people act like it's not a big thing, and that's just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just saying, I'm sitting here watching this, but it feels like when one of us does something like that, if we seem like we're scamming or wrong, and I mean African American people or anybody that happens to not, unfortunately, I mean it just seems like. It seems like it's like with us as people, it's like any type of legacy that we had, any type of thing that we did that might have been, whatever monies that we made, a lot of times we're almost erased. Let's erase those people that we don't like. And I feel like with us, we can't get to that type of status because some of us wouldn't be able to get to that type of status, not that way, not through political gain, not through. Because it seems like you almost gotta, you gotta sell your soul. You gotta do. I mean, like, it just goes to a point where it's just like, if you want some of this stuff, you got to really go against who you are. You got to really go against everything in order to get it. And be careful, because if you get it, it works with us like a double-sided knife. Because with us, if they find something wrong with us, they're gonna get rid of us. And I do mean when they find something wrong with black people, If they can exploit it, if they can take it down, if they can make you look stupid or whatever, they will do it. But with them, it's almost like it's all right to do it. It's almost like I told a person a time back where I said, you don't have to do certain things that you don't have to do sometimes what we have to do as black people, because you own this. Actually, the truth is they own this. Most of everything that they got their name on it. So they lose their mind when somebody like us comes out here and we can put our name on something, or we can represent it, or we got a lot of money and stuff going for us. Some people get upset about that. They really do. They get upset because they look at this. People look at the camera and they see a bunch of, who, Jordan. Oh, oh my God, who is this over here? Pippen is in, and oh, wait a minute, he getting money too? They look at the camera and they see us and they act like we are, we own too much or whatever, and you just get people start getting an attitude because they're like, oh, they're in everything. Yeah, we should be in something. We should be in a lot of stuff, more stuff than y'all even gave us credit for. But at the same time, D.L. Hughley said this. He said that he getting so tired of people hollering about, oh, people that happen to be white to be hollering about, oh, they're so against me, and oh, I have such a hard time. Please stop it. Please stop it, because that's not the truth. And oh, they're anti-white. No, it's not like that. Come on. If anything, it's anti-black. But they play this game, and I'm just saying, I just see this. It seems like they can keep coming back, and they can figure out a new way to grift, a new way to lie, a new way, and people just buy into it. And I can't help but to just say that it just seemed like your whiteness is working for you. I mean, I'm serious, and I know some people are taking say, oh, well, he's just racist. I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I said this before. I had this dude that posted by my friend. I don't want to give him too much credit, but he was an idiot, and I never came off on him. I had a friend that when they found out that I wasn't dealing with this dude anymore, he was like, Eric, did you go to his site? Did you see the stuff that he was putting up? And I said, no, I didn't. I gave him his freedom. I didn't care nothing about him in that situation. I don't want to look him up. I didn't really care. He supposedly was my friend, and that's why I tried to take him as my friend. But when I start speaking out against, when I start being, and when 220 came around, and when all this stuff started happening, I was definitely behind it. But I guess he didn't know who I was. He wanted to try to tell me, oh, well, you're not that type of person. You're not angry, and you're not this, and you're not that. And I was like, you don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? You might think you know me, and you might think that because I've been friendly towards you, that I can't be upset with what's happening to my people. I can't be upset and mad or what's going down. You know what I'm saying? And but to get back to the situation, is just that I'm just saying that it feels like these people have 9 lives. They can just keep on coming back, and society just doesn't look at them as if they have a blemish on them. Some of them. And it seems like, whenever really a person of celebrity or money that happens to be, an African American or a person not white, they get away with a lot of this stuff. And again, I don't believe that it's all white people. It's not. It can't be. But it seems like it's enough powerful people that these guys can get away with coming back to the forefront, making money and grifting and making money off everybody. And I'm just amazed at that, because again, like the way that this president tried to take over another term because he wanted to. He wants to tell people to do what he wants them to do, when he wants them to do, how he wants them to do. And the people that back him up seem to don't understand. I guess they think that it's honor among thieves, and it's not. If he ever got in power, really, do you think that he would really look out for some of you? Maybe if the people with high power with money, yeah. But the poor people, no. And some of them seem to just cling on to this guy. And so I guess that's just what I'm just thinking about. And I know it's not big for some people, and they're just looking at it and say, oh, this is just racist thing that he's just talking about. And they always throw race in the stuff. And no, this is just life. This is real life. And I've had people say to me, and then I'll end this. I had one person say to me, one of my friends, and he's not white. And he said to me, well, Eric, you talk about this, and then all these people in this other places doing this, and he went on to some vague stuff that I just didn't really I didn't think it was necessary. And I love him, but I told him, I can't worry about what those people are doing over in, I don't know, Asia or wherever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know what's going on here in America, and I know what I deal with. So I try to stick to what I deal with. I know what's going on. I know at least some of the things that are going on. And I don't have time to play around with someone else and try to tell them, first, we got to acknowledge what's going on here, or I have to get somebody to acknowledge what's going on here to get me to the point that maybe I can go over to Asia or somewhere else and help another person, but I got to deal with what I got to deal with here. And then said something to the point where we always talking about it. I do want to come to some type of resolve, but the fact of the matter is that when people are under the belief that nothing's wrong in the first place, I wish that as much as people sit around and want to talk about fixing homosexuality, or whereas people are in the church and want to talk about how we need to be better Christians, I wish that people put that much emphasis on trying to help with relations among, period, us across the line. It's amazing. Now we have Christian nationalists. Now we have Christian KKK. We always had Christian KKK because they claimed that their whole ideology was still in Christ, even though you want to hate black people or hate anybody other than a white person. So I'm amazed at all these different branches of Christianity that we have that people don't acknowledge. First of all, some of my black people act like, oh, well, it's cool to be a Christian, and this is what everybody ain't selling this type of Christianity, which shouldn't be about race, shouldn't be about money, shouldn't be about where you live. But they ignore, it seems like some people ignore the fact that we're still being redlined. They ignore the fact that we have voter oppression, especially in our neighborhoods. From that main guy that I was talking about, where he started hollering about all the places. There were black areas, Georgia. I know that Georgia was one that he was hollering about, that he didn't get the right votes from and all this stuff like this. I'm amazed at people that are supposed to be Christian, but they happen to be black, and then you want to align yourself with him. You want to align yourself with a man that doesn't even want you to vote, and they see it happening, and they act like this is cool to either not support or don't say anything about it. Some people act as if if you live in a nice neighborhood, or supposedly a nice neighborhood, somewhere where where you have a nice home, or you have a nice apartment, and you're getting along and you're making your money and you got your little friends, whether they be white and black or black or whatever, but you got your little environment, and you think that it's all good until something happens. Then some people are going to protest, but a lot of young people, I am glad they're out here, and they voted the most, and they went out there and they're doing it, and they're seeing through a lot of this bull. But at the same time, I'm just like, it seems like some people are just sitting around and they acting as if, oh, well, we're all Christians and we all can get together. It's not like that. When you're a nationalist, you ain't a real Christian. You support supposedly your fam, your country, and all this other stuff that they're trying to throw in. And like I said, if you're sitting around and you're talking about this racial stuff, and everything is, oh, fear mongering. Oh my God, they're gonna take our jobs away and all this stuff like this. Where is it that the Christianity part of you kicks in and says we got to do something about this? You're not so blinded by, if we stick together and get rid of the homosexuals, and you say you love God. You say you love God, and from what I've understood, that the first thing you're supposed to do is you learn to love everybody. But when you say you love God, but then you hate homosexuals, you say you love God, and then you stand with a brother in hate. That's the only way y'all get along, because otherwise he don't like you as a black person. Some of y'all don't really like them as white people. But what happens is y'all can get together and hate, because y'all say this is our founding Christianity, so you can get together and hate another person and find some type of camaraderie in that. rather than it being, no, I'm supposed to be loving my brother, regardless of who they are or what they are or what they choose to do. You don't have the right over somebody's life. And we're over here, now we're over here with Trump and all these other people that want this power of, because that's what it's all about anyway, power, and they don't want anyone, I won't go all into that, but it's basically about people having the power to make decisions. And I think they feel like they're losing it because we're coming up in the world. Everybody's coming up in the world. It's crazy for us to be divided like this. But we tend to be divided like this because somebody wants the piece of the pie more so than the other person. And then, like, if you've been getting the power of your life, some people don't want to give it up. Oh, I'm not giving. I'm not. Why should we give up anything? Or things ain't working out the way it worked for you before. Because if you happen to be white, you lived in a certain area, your father, your grandfather, your great great grandfather, all of y'all had jobs before. Y'all got first pick. Now you don't. Why? Not nothing big. Sometimes it's a situation where you need to go to school, get more education. You might need to leave your neighborhood because it might not just be working out over there because they don't have those type of jobs that your grandfather and your great grandfather before had those jobs. They no longer have no access or no use for that anymore. So it would be very simple if you would just go to school, get a better education, or if you would maybe choose to go to a different location. But some people, why should I have to leave? I've been here for years, and my father before him, the grandfather before him, and whatever, and they make money. And why can't we make money? And why are those people over there are making all this money? Or why you see all these black entertainments on this, or whatever these people, or these Hispanic people making? It's crazy. Get in where you fit in. But I guess some people feel like they don't need to get in because they are who they are. And I ain't never had to do this before. So it's a lot of different things that pertain to what's going on. But with racial situations, and I can't ignore it. I see a lot of race situations. It's they just tased the guy that was having a seizure the other day. I was watching on TV, and it was hard to watch. Just watch these people do crazy things, and these happen to be cops. When are we? I don't understand when we're gonna learn that it's not about us putting 900 million cops on the street. That's never gonna make it better if we don't figure out why they're having the crime in the first place. If we don't understand that it ain't just black on black crime that is in the world, that it's just crime. Period. It's all these crazy things that bug me. But anyway, that's what was on my mind. I just think it's a lot of grifters out here. Candace Owens. It's a lot of grifters out here. You know what I'm saying? Like Ben Shapiro. It's a lot of grifters out here, and they just getting the money and getting the money, and we just always seem to just let them keep on getting the money. I wish that we could wake up as a society, wake up as people that try to understand that everybody deserves to have their freedom and have their place on this earth. And you don't have to agree with them, you don't have to like them, but you don't have to live like them. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple. It just seems like if you just let it go, you ain't got to be around people all the time. You don't have to argue all these facts or all these things you think that are facts or all these things in your mind because this is how the world is messed up. And a lot of times it's just your participation in it that makes it even more worse than what than what the average person is trying to do. Because most of us, we just trying to live, bro. People just trying to live. It ain't got nothing to do with you being white, with you being black. It ain't got nothing to do with who you want to take home with you. It's your business. I don't care. I really don't care. And I don't know why everybody else care. Because you ain't God. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? It sure wouldn't be what y'all doing. It sure wouldn't be what y'all doing. So with that, I'm going to say, go tell somebody that you love them. You need to. You need to go tell your brother, your sister, hey, look, I just thought about you today. I love you. I want to say hi. Go tell somebody hi when you're walking down the street and you're doing something. Speak to them. Hey, how you doing? How things is going? We don't have to be as mad and upset as sometimes we want to be. It's you might make yourself feel better by smiling at somebody, just saying, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Don't there might be somebody that's gonna hurt themselves today. That if you call them and you let them know, it might be, I don't know. I'm just saying, people got things on their mind, things are happening in the world. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know that you love them. Let them know that, yeah, everybody's not upset. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Tell a brother, sister, a cousin, a mother, somebody, hey, look, I was just thinking about you today, and I just want to let you know I love you. Because again, all the stuff that I'm talking about, it might not make sense to some people. Maybe it does. I'm just saying some of these things are on my heart, and I see things going on, and yeah, I speak about them. And they do all the time. Majority have time to do with who I am as a black person, because that's me in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what I constantly deal with. Whether I meet up with good people that don't have a problem with it, or whether I meet up with people that have always had a problem with it. I can't sit down and at least not say nothing. The least I can do is at least say something about it, because again, some people act as if this stuff ain't happening. They act as if everything is good, and it's not. We all need to stand up, because it shouldn't be at this time where people have lost their lives, and all types of people have lost their lives. Just to let people know, it ain't just been black people that lost their lives. MLK, Malcolm X. It's been people that have stood beside us, like Jewish people. A lot of Jewish people stood beside us. A lot of white people stood beside everybody. A lot of it ain't just us, but for the cause for civil rights, the cause for us all to be free, for us all to be able to live how we want to live and make our own decisions. For the cause, a lot of people have died. A lot of people have put up their lives trying to make things better for everybody around the world. Even though some people don't want that, we have to still keep on standing up for it. And that's what I mean when some people ain't paying no attention. We still got to stand up for this. All right. With that being said, y'all have a great day.